It's the Rome Show!
With your hosts, Andrew Romanella.
I don't think I'm good enough in this spot based on my own personal mental health, so I can't continue. The first problem is with the owner of the Carolina Panthers, okay? You're an idiot. Seriously, you're an idiot.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com and Dingo TV channel 217. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. We got you for the next 30 minutes and change. It's a Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. What does that mean? That means we get a little bit of hockey with Rocky. That's right. Rocky Romanella will join us hopefully in the next 8 to 10 minutes or so. Andrew will try his hardest to not make a mistake when it comes to letting Rocky in on the show action. We have a good amount of stuff to talk about today, as we do almost every single day now, because as I've mentioned, Major League Baseball is in their postseason. NFL's in week number 5. The National Hockey League is technically started with the Devils going 2-0 in the Czech Republic last week. And now the National Basketball Association has their preseason starting. So this week in sports is awesome. This month in sports is awesome. And we're going to enjoy it here on The Rome Show. If you're enjoying it here on The Rome Show, be sure to comment in on the action. YouTube.com or 12ozsports.com is the place to be if you want to comment live in on the action. I have the social media set up for everybody, The Rome Show on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, wherever it is. Follow The Rome Show on social media. All right, we're going to go ahead and start in Monday Night Football and Major League Baseball because we're going to get into the hockey stuff with Rocky, hence the name of the segment. But sometimes I don't know if we always get into hockey, so I thought I'd let the people know that. Okay, Major League Baseball time. Here we go. So yesterday we had 2 games in Major League Baseball, both in the Atlantic League. Now, I don't know if you've noticed how baseball has done it, but on the first night of the second round of the postseason, baseball played all 4 series, 2 on the National League side, 2 on the American League side. After that, the National League played the back-to-back in terms of the first 2 nights of the second round of the postseason, and then they got their off night. And the American League played the first night of the second round of the postseason. They got an off night, and then they come back for their second game, then another off night so they can travel to Kansas City, okay? I kind of like that baseball did this. It gives you a chance to watch both series thoroughly, not run into as many issues, and fully dive into the baseball, okay? So last night, we had the combination of Royals at Yankees and Dodgers at, why am I drawing a blank? I said Dodgers. And I just drew a blank. And the Tigers at the Guardians. You ever done that before where like you're locked, locked, and then something on the screen changes and it just throws you off? I was on Tuesday, October 8th, and I was expecting to click Tuesday, October 9th as I go through my little schedule thing here. And I clicked Monday or Saturday, October 5th. And you could see where that just scattered my brain at 7:05 in the morning. So you had Tigers and Indians, Royals and Yankees to stop myself and give you some good content. Here's how the Tigers and Indians' 9th inning looked to help the Tigers get a 3-0 victory.
His knack with runners in scoring position for the season. As you see, this was a no-doubter.
Tigers trying to get one on the road before they return to Detroit. Runner goes, pitch is swung on, a high fly ball to right field. This one is gonna fly! A 3-run home run! Kerry The Tigers up 3-0 as Carpenter, an emphatic, towering fly ball home run into the bleachers in right field. What a moment.
Middle.
Oh.
Talked about his power, his knack with runners in scoring position for the season. As you see, this was a no-doubter.
Kerry Carpenter gives the Detroit Tigers a 3-0 lead in the top of the 9th inning, and the Tigers go on and tie the series at 1-1. Tarek Skubal was elite for the Tigers in this game. Didn't give up a hit until the 5th inning. 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 Ks in 92 pitches. And the Tigers, 2 relievers, 2 scoreless innings, and they defeat the Guardians. All-star closer Emmanuel Clase was who gave up the 3-run home run for the Guardians. Now this series shifts back to Detroit 1-1. And if you remember correctly, Andrew thought he believed the Tigers could win this series because they found a way to win every single step of the way. The Yankees lose to the Royals. That series also goes to 1-1. I think the biggest story here is Aaron Judge. Now, he finally got a hit, okay, but he started the postseason 0 for 5 with 4 Ks. And if you look at Aaron Judge's first 20 at-bats in his postseason career, it's atrocious. Like, it's not hyperbole. It's not over-exaggerating. It's not nope, that's not what I meant to hit. It's not one of these.
Ooh.
It's none of that.
Hot take.
None of it. It's just the facts. Aaron Judge not been a great postseason hitter in his opportunities. And I'm sitting here going, God, come on, Aaron. Come on, man. Come through. And right now he just has not. Jazz Chittum had a hit. Juan Soto, 0 for 3, 2 Ks in this game. 8 total Ks for the Yankees. Austin Wells, 2 Ks. So it just wasn't a good day for the Yanks. And the Royals, they head back to Kansas City, tied 1-1. I think a real chance in this series. Cole Reagans, who's been elite, was good enough. Not great, but he was better than Carlos Rodon, who gave up 4 innings in 3 2/3. So tonight we move back to the National League Series, and every single series right now in Major League Baseball postseason is tied at 1-1, which I think is so freaking cool. So we'll be in Queens tonight, Citi Field, 5:08 start for that game on FS1, and then we'll be in San Diego for Game 3 of that series, 9:08 start there. Walker Buehler on the mound versus Michael King in San Diego, and Sean Manaea against Aaron Nola. So some elite pitching matchups we have ourselves there. I see Rocky on the back end, so we're going to get him on the show. By the way, we got to talk Monday Night Football, so we'll crush our Monday Night Football with Rocky in on the action. Before I bring him in, I remind you the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com, Dingo TV, channel 217. If you missed any of the action, we have a podcast, the Rome Show podcast, where you listen to your podcast, or Dingo TV replays the show at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time if you want to watch it there. Enough about me. Time to talk with Rocky, some football, and get excited about the National Hockey League. Let's roll.
Now, inside the glass, hockey with Rocky.
Good morning, everyone. It is Steven Stamkos, one of the newest members of the Nashville Predators, who are excited for the hockey season. What's up?
Steven, I see that it's Flag Day every single day in the National Football League. Can you give us the reason why?
Flag Day in the NFL is every Sunday. So flags are up like 7%. It's like flags are up to like 16 per game from like 13 per game. Touchdowns are down. And it is impossible for me to watch one play in the NFL without looking to the bottom right part of the screen to see if the down and yardage changes to a yellow flag symbol.
It's actually super annoying, and it's a very, very good point on your end. Every time you watch a big play, I don't even think the players celebrate early yet. Like the players will score a touchdown and go, all right, what? No one's run. All right, word. Let's go ahead and celebrate this thing.
And then when they do celebrate and point their first down marker, they're going to get flagged anyway. So there's, it doesn't matter.
So since you're on the National Football League, I'd like to cover Monday Night Football while you're here. And then I want to get into all the hockey stuff. So, and I know you have a college football story as well. So last night, Rocky, I'm just going to be honest with you, and then you can give me your thoughts. I was a little bit wrong, okay? I thought, first off, that the Saints offense would at some point in time be able to reset themselves. Did I think they'd come out and beat the Chiefs 34-31, 42-38? No. But did I think that they would be better than they have been the last 3 weeks based on what they had done the 2 weeks prior and the last 2 weeks of last season? Yes. So the Chiefs defeat the Saints 26-13. Patrick Mahomes throws for 331 and 1 interception. Did not have a touchdown. Kareem Hunt, yes, you heard that correctly. He ran for a touchdown, and a lot of defense was played in this football game. Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Chiefs, collected 14 points, Rocky, and the Chiefs have essentially won 11 straight dating back to last year, the Super Bowl and the postseason. Now they're 5-0, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't even feel that good about this football team. Your thoughts on Monday Night Football?
So a couple of things, like, loving the Chiefs start, like good, Derek Carr was tossing the rock like it was Drew Brees in his heyday, opening up in the Superdome. Yeah. In the well, I mean, he was throwing it like Drew Brees.
Yes, correct. That's right.
So, he looked good in his openers. Like, it was like, wow, this Saints offense is going to be nice. And, now they're the Saints and you're okay with that. Like, but the thing to me about the Chiefs is like, am I surprised that they smoked last night? No, I'm not. And here's why. If you look at the Chiefs start the last couple seasons, like they always lose a bad game. And if you look at their first 4 games, they didn't play great. And they probably should have lost 1, if not 2 of the games already. So they ended up winning. Conspiracy theorists say it's because of the refs, whatever. You can make a strong
day, Rocky. No, just kidding.
You can make a strong case for that. But now when you see them roll and you kind of see him put together a Chiefs victory that we've seen. Like, I'm not necessarily surprised. Like, they're 5-0 on circumstance, but their start of the season slow like normal, a little bit sloppy like normal, and then they kind of settle into this groove where they really can't be beaten. So, quite frankly, I wasn't even interested in this game last night, and I was on baseball the entire night.
I was big into the baseball. Just to finish the thought, actually opened up the season in 2023 with a loss 21-20 to the Detroit Lions. If you go back to the 2022 regular season, they started the year 2-1 with a bad loss to the Indianapolis Colts. And then you take it a step further, they were 5-2 with a bad loss to Buffalo that year in Kansas City, if you remember that game correctly, Rocky. So you're really kind of spot on. So I ask you this question. Would you rather your team be one of those teams that is clear and above better than everybody else, and they really do just play dominating football, and then the 1 or 2 losses they have is just atrocious? Or would you rather your team always eke it out? It's almost tough every game for the most part because you don't know if you're going to win, but somehow they always find a way to win. What's your scenario?
No, I want the Chiefs like dominating. Think about it. Like I want to dominate. Like I'm tired of squeaking in games out. I'm tired of questioning. I'm tired of, listen, I've got 10 to 12 years of bad Giants football to tell you that I'm done with like tight games and like, bad performances. what I like about the Chiefs is, as much as you can talk about their roster, you can talk about everything, but like what you're seeing from Andy Reid and his staff is, very similar to what we saw with Bill Belichick and the Patriots through Tom Brady's reign. And like that is, in some cases, it's not surprising in a way. Like that is the modern football era, like you've got a team that figures it out from a, GM all the way down to on the field product. And, if it wasn't for the Patriots, I think the Chiefs' performance would actually be better than what we're seeing. To me, the difference is Tom Brady got questioned pretty much from day one, and even before he wins 3 more Super Bowls, people are telling him he's too old. You have not seen anything of the sort with Patrick Mahomes. He is still in his prime. No one's questioning his ability. And if they are, they're looking at everyone else on the field before they're looking at Mahomes. That's probably the only difference. But I mean, 5-6 years in, you're kind of looking at like the Patriots reincarnated.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's Hockey with Rocky. It's a Tuesday. Andrew Romanella, Rocky Romanella ×2, it looks like, here with us today on this Tuesday. All right, Rock, you had a college football story that you really, really love that you wanted to talk about. So let's go college football story, and then let's go National Hockey League.
The Vanderbilt, what's Vanderbilt's name? The Commodores?
The Commodores.
So the Commodores beat Alabama in a dramatic fashion in Hockey with Rockies. And they subsequently, the fans tear down the goalpost, march it down Broadway 3 miles from stadium, and dump it in the Cumberland River. The video is fantastic. It is just so indicative of pure classic sports joy. And the fact that there was a police escort, they walked through the streets of downtown. There were cars on the street. Not one car got vandalized. Everything was pure celebration. I absolutely love it. And then to find out that the SEC went and fined Vanderbilt $100,000. Now, by the way, $100,000 is only because they're a first-time offender, whereas Arkansas found themselves with, I think it was a $250,000 fine because they are second-time offenders.
Ridiculous.
And, you kind of look at it and you're like, this is everything great about college football. And there's zero reason why these people should be fined. But
and before you finish it, by the way, I don't understand. Like, you let them storm the field? Like, it's allowed. Like, they facilitate it, and then you fine them. That's what I don't understand.
I think it goes actually, and you've talked about this before, but typically it's during basketball season. But I think the rules stem from the basketball storming of the courts, where they've put the responsibility on the security of the home team, which is why they're getting fines. Now, the cool thing I found is that the Nashville Fire Department pulled the goalpost out of the river. They're chopping it up, and they are selling it as donated pieces to fans in order to pay the fine.
It's genius.
Which is great too.
And they'll make more money back, but great victory for Vanderbilt. If you have a chance, I thought about popping the video on here with us. But what I'll do is I'll retweet it. I actually think I already did. The Rome Show 1 Instagram. I think I may have reposted it on Instagram stories, and I think I might have re-X'd it, as we call it now. But either way, check it out if you haven't seen it.
I'll X you.
Yeah, X me. All right. Rockies, I need to throw this up on the screen really quickly before we go into hockey. Check out this comment we got 5 minutes ago. NFL equals numerous flags league from our friends over
12 OZ, dude. Do your 12 OZ curls. They know. They're paying attention.
That's so
And if
funny.
you listen to Al Michaels on Thursday night in Kirk Herbstreit, you'll hear a very, very public complaint about the refereeing in the NHL. Or NFL, excuse me.
We keep telling people, Rocky, they got to go over to the YouTube because then they can comment on live. And if you see all of the people watching right now, when you comment live, we can throw it up on the screen and we can have a real conversation about the sports. Let's have a real conversation about hockey because it's Hockey with Rocky every Tuesday here, the Rome Show, 12 Ounce Sports. The New Jersey Devils. That's right. The New Jersey Devils start the season 2. And Rocky, a 4-1 victory in the Czech, a 3-1 victory in the Czech, and they have a really nice start to the season in a time for this Devils franchise where it's either put up or we have to go through another retooling time again. And I don't know if any fan wants to see that.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about the Devils already, and I told you that they were kind of like the pick of people to pay attention to in the Metropolitan Division. And, they certainly showed up. And I think more importantly than the 4-1 victory on day one on Friday is that on Saturday, they were down 1-0 and essentially had to come back and win that game. And so, in two stances, like in two ways, you can look at it as a dominating performance, and then you look at it as like a bit of a come from behind, a little bit of a day two, kind of a prove it victory. So good start for the Devils. If I'm a Sabres fan, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Typically the Sabres get off to a quick start, but only scoring 1 goal is probably the thing that I'm more paying attention to than the loss overall.
I like the goaltending for the Devils, and I like the fact that Paul Cotter, who played for the Vegas Golden Knights for the last few years, came over and had 3 points on the weekend, 2 goals and 1 assist. And then I can't remember where Markubson came from, Rocky, if I'm saying his last name correctly. Calgary? Okay. And I know he's bounced around the league a little bit, but he had a really good day. So the one thing I was really kind of looking at was the goaltending, because it's like, all right, this has been, and you kind of don't want to believe it's been since Martin Brodeurs left, but unfortunately, that probably has been. And Markubson played really good, 30 saves and 31 attempts on game number 1. So that was my takeaway. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, I just think you're right. I mean, it's for a team, for a team like for example, the Rangers to go from Richter to Lundqvist to now Shesterkin, right? It'd be nice, when your team can go have that, legitimate number 1 goaltender, you're getting a level of consistency that, only, you see this Chiefs have with Mahomes, and you see that from a quarterbacking standpoint. So, I think you're right from a Devil standpoint, big hole, it's something that they don't necessarily have to worry about. They can go really worry about the on-ice talent, which is youthful, fast, skilled, and very much a product of goal scoring, which is going to be exciting to see.
So the National Hockey League, the rest of everybody, starts this week. Is that tomorrow or Thursday?
So it was supposed to start last night. Game postponed as it was. It was a Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay
the weather,
postponed,
right?
Obviously, because of the hurricane. So you've got a triple header tonight.
Okay.
You've got the St. Louis Blues and Seattle Kraken in a 4:30 Eastern matchup, which I don't understand, because that would be 3:30 in St. Louis and it's 1:30 in Seattle, and it's a Tuesday. So I don't know how that's working. But
are they trying to do the baseball thing, Rock?
I don't know. It's not necessarily a holiday today, so don't quite understand.
Okay.
I would have put that game on the West Coast game, but
because
how you've got
like Major League Baseball starts in the daytime, and like it used to be a big thing where you'd like miss your first day of work and you'd go to opening day of baseball.
Well, there was a period in time where baseball only was played during the day, so that's more of a ode to baseball being the American pastime. I don't know what this is. Anyways, you got the Bruins and Panthers. You got the Bruins and Panthers at 7 p.m. Obviously, a kind of a more recent rivalry, as the Panthers have now eliminated a very good, high-flying Boston Bruins team the last 2 years from the playoffs. 2 years ago, coming from behind from 3-0, and then last year, on their way to winning the Stanley Cup. Jeremy Swayman, goaltender for the Bruins. The contract dispute is over. He signs for $66 million. Is said to be in goal tonight. So that'll be an exciting storyline. And then the 10 p.m. Finale, which, I may have wanted to have this one, more in a viewable window, but you've got Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks versus the new look Arizona Coyotes in the way of the Utah Hockey Club. So 3 exciting games, and the rest of the league will take shape tomorrow night.
How do we feel about the Utah Hockey Club and the uniforms and the way it's started, Rock? I'll give you a quick thought. I love what they're doing. I'm sure you saw this, how they've changed the top 5 concession items that Utah Hockey Club believes people want at a game are all like less than $5 for their fans. So to me, I think that's a great ploy as a brand new team to start getting people inside that arena. And I don't know, you're better at the hockey talent than I am. It's preseason, but hockey's kind of different. I feel like it's not going to be a throwaway season. I'm not going to say they're the Golden Knights their first year, Rock, but it really does look like this is going to be a way better situation than Arizona was.
I think atmosphere wise, I think organizational wise, yeah, you're right. Like what I've seen has been, spectacular. It looks good. I like the color scheme. You know how I feel about the Utah HC. Like I think that's hilarious. I think it's great. I would argue they should keep that name for forever. I don't need, because it sounds like they're going to be the Utah Yetis, is what it sounds like.
Please no.
Which I don't necessarily agree with. But I also was weary about the Golden Knights. And now I love them. So, but from a Utah standpoint, it's just the Arizona Coyotes. So outside of, it's not like this is not an expansion team. It's just a team that has changed cities and changed names. So I don't necessarily see a huge increase on the ice. And I think Connor Bedard is about to go off in year 2. And just the way he was playing from a scrappy standpoint in the preseason gets you excited. I think Chicago wins this game. I think Jeremy Swayman could potentially throw up a shutout tonight. And I could see the Boston winning that game. And then I've got Dan Bilesma returning to the head coaching ranks, won 2 Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh, had a quick stint in Buffalo, back behind the bench in Seattle. And I like Seattle in that game to get Coach Bilesma's first win in a couple years.
All right. And right before you get out of here, Rock, can you run down your thoughts, any other thoughts that you got on not just tonight, but tomorrow night's game, and then any, teams or vibes you want for the people? We got a minute or so here.
Yeah, the team I came prepared to talk about today, I feel like I always leave the Western Conference behind. So even though I'm still east of the Mississippi with this one, it is a Western Conference team. And I do just want to give everyone, hey, go pay attention to the Nashville Predators. I'm excited to see what they put on the ice. Steven Stamkos is going to go finish his career there. Picked up Jake Gensel via Carolina, aka via the Pittsburgh Penguins. Picked up Brady Shea from Carolina. Jonathan Marchessault, Stanley Cup champion from Vegas, re-signing their goaltender in Uzi Zaros. Like, this is a team that on paper did everything right, brought in the star-studded talent, and could be an absolute force in the league this year. I am excited to watch the Nashville Predators play hockey this year, and that's the team that I'd like to put on the people's radar this morning.
I love that. And because if you're an avid Rome Show fan, Rocky's a huge Rangers fan. I'd like to give you 30 seconds to give us your thoughts on the Rangers.
To me, it's a pivotal year from a lineup standpoint. We've seen the lineup. We know the lineup, Kreider and Zibanejad, Panarin and Trocheck and Lafreniere, Hedl on the third line, fourth line, and mix of guys in and out. Your top guys are Fox and Lindgren. Then you've got, Miller and Jones and Trouba, and you got Shesterkin. You know who we are. I need to see 2 power play units. At some point, I need to see Chris Kreider away from Mika Zibanejad. I need Alexei Lafreniere playing with Zibanejad. And it will really be, can we see someone willing to diversify this lineup, or are we going to see some of the same high-powered offense supported by great goaltending and a high power play where people are questioning 5-on-5 play? I love that they're good. I love that they've been good enough, but I need the killer instinct to get them to the final this year, and it might be juggling the lineup and giving it more versatility.
Hey, sometimes that's all it is. You might have the right pieces, but you're just playing those pieces in the wrong place, and that's where it comes down to coaching. Rocky, final thought.
What a great time of year, by the way. My final thought is this: the pitch count in baseball is truly is truly experiencing the highlight of its time in the playoffs. What an enjoyable playoffs it's been. And I really do think the pitch clock is one of the number one reasons why.
I couldn't agree more. And I think the pickoff rule, which is allowing a little bit more action on the bases. What a great Tuesday. Wow. Rocky Romanella, everybody. Rocky, you have a fantastic Tuesday. Looks like you're about to go make some waffles or something else for the kids.
No doubt.
Love it.
Later.
Enjoy it. Later. Rocky Romanella, everybody. Hockey with Rocky happens on this show every Tuesday. And I think we can start to call it sports with Rocky every Tuesday. I call this segment Daily Bananas, and we're on it right now. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Daily Bananas. I took Patrick Mahomes over 225 on the throwing. That was awesome. We got that. After that, we were 0-2. I had over 42.5 points. They scored 39. And I had the Saints at the +5. They lost by 13. So that's a 1-2 day for Andrew. I think I go from like 109 and 86 to 110 and 88. So that is definitely unfortunate. But hey, that is life. I wanted to go to the National Hockey League today in the ode of it starting. Rocky talked a lot about the Blackhawks. So I'm going to take the Hawks on the money line tonight at the Utah Hockey Club. And then give me Connor Bedard to score a goal. And then I want Swayman coming out for the Boston Bruins. I think I saw his total saves over like 20, high 20s. I'm going to confirm that. But give me Swayman on the saves for the Boston Bruins. And then, you know what? I think the Padres are going to beat the Dodgers. So I'll take the Padres in baseball on the money line. And ladies and gentlemen, those are my Daily Bananas. And this has been the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com, Dingo TV, channel 217. I will be back every day like I always am, 7 a.m. Follow the social media, The Rome Show 1. And this is Andrew Romanella saying be electric today. Peace!
Thank you for listening.